all you ever need to tap into your purpose is the willingness to be willing.
So if people are sitting at home and they're like, okay, I get it, I believe that I have a purpose, but they have no fucking idea what their actual purpose is, how can they start to find it?
Your purpose lights you up. Your purpose is the calling in your heart that doesn't make any logical sense, but you know, right?
You can take as much action as you want, but if there's still a block and resistance behind it and it's not coming from that right vibration, that right energy, it's only going to get you so far.
When we feel our real emotions instead of faking them, that frequency actually vibrates 4,000 times more powerfully than the frequency of love.
Today's episode is all about finding your soul purpose, right? Finding your life plan, what you are meant to do, and all the challenges and struggles that might come along with that. And in order to do that, I have today with me a really special guest, a dear friend, Victoria Mann. Now, a really special part of this is at the end of the podcast, she gives us a special channel meditation to help you tune into that energy and find your soul's purpose. So if you're not ready to dive into that meditation at the end of listening to it, please save it and come back to it. And you can come back to it anytime. Victoria is the creator of the Next Level Happy Method and Ayurvedic Alchemy. Ayurvedic Alchemy and Next Level Happy Method combine ancient wisdom and quantum physics to guide you towards emotional freedom, a manifesting mindset, and a high vibrational lifestyle. As a psychic medium and clear channel to the divine, Victoria teaches you to unlock your intuitive gifts, access the Akashic records, and step into your soul's unique purpose. Victoria went from rock bottom to living a life she's now obsessed with and now helps other women do the same by helping them remember their purpose, elevate their income, and create a fulfilling life all while having fun. Whether you're ready to transform your life, assessing your soul's plan, or train in her certification programs, Victoria is here to help you access your next level happy and get you from where you are to where you want to be. So welcome. Why don't we start by you telling me a little bit about your background and how you got to doing this work, how you found your soul's purpose?
Yeah, 100%. And actually, I'm being called for everybody to tune in. And first, hello, I'm Victoria Mann, creator of nextlevelhappy.com. And I used to be the complete opposite of Next Level Happy. I used to think I didn't have a purpose, and it always felt like life was happening to me, not for me. And it really felt like, even though I was raised with faith and in Catholic school my whole life, it really felt like, okay, if there is this God force energy that now, I know we're one with, it was like, it only is there for other people, right? It really felt like I had been forgotten, right? So I felt lost for most of my life. So if you're listening to this and it doesn't feel possible for you, I just want to say right now, before we get into it, that all you ever need to access a miracle, to access your next level of happiness, to start to tap into your purpose, and maybe you want to just declare this right now, today, right? Is you just need the willingness to be willing, right? The willingness to be willing to allow that in. Okay. So if you feel like there's no way, I'm never going to find my purpose, or I'm too old, or whatever it is, I want you right now to just call out that BS lie. I want you just to call it a lie and just put it over here. And if it feels so real for you that you can't even comprehend what I'm saying, that the thought itself is a lie, just open to that possibility that maybe there's a better truth for you, that maybe everything that you have gone through in this life is for a reason. And I dedicated a lot of my path to debunking these experiences, because it was like, whoa, okay, now I've had this awakening. I know miracles are real, all of these things, but there's going to be people that had such a hard soul plan like me that they're not going to believe either, right? So I did my due diligence for us of really like looking at this, debunking all of the things. And I promise you, when you are willing to do whatever it takes, right, to do the inner work, to look at these things, you will get to your next level. Because the truth is, we all choose to come here. We choose our purpose before we come here, but it's our free will life choices that determine how these things will manifest. Okay. It's our free will choices. So I'm being guided to actually tune in right now. So let's go ahead and do that. And I'm going to take everybody just through in this meditation a couple of soul questions. So you're going to hear me chant a mantra. And if you want, you can just receive this, or you could chant 3 ohms, which signals you tuning into the current of the universe, right? So I channel from the Akashic Records. And the Akashic Records is everything that ever is, was, or will be. And we all have access to this. We all have access to remembering our soul's plan. We all have access to remembering our purpose. We all have access to understanding the lesson for the soul assignments. We all have access to learning how to take what is in front of us in life and making lemonade out of the lemons. And that, in fact, is why we're here. And on a bigger scale, a global scale, we're here to raise the frequency of the planet, because the planet's natural state is to be in peace. It is to be in love. And when I learned that that is actually proven to be possible, that if we get 1 billion people, when we get 1 billion people doing this inner work, choosing love actively, not, just learning how to balance that duality of life in your own life, that really helps us shift the frequency of the world. And when we get 1 billion people doing this world, Dr. Deepak Chopra did the math, it is proven that the world will shift to love. What this means is people making poor free will choices, or in that darkness, or whatever it is, not choices, not for the highest and greatest good of all, but, so we don't have to get into it. Those free will choices, because of the high vibration of the collective, of Catherine doing this work, you doing this work, me doing this work, 1 billion people doing this work, it will literally offset the energy of anybody choosing to do wrong. It will help them to choose again and to choose love. Okay. So, how beautiful would that be? How beautiful would that be? Okay. So the mantra that I'm going to use to tune in is Om Namo Gurudev Namo. And everything is energy. Everything has a frequency. So this mantra's frequency is designed to help you tune into your higher self, to remember that you did choose a plan for yourself. I like to call it a roadmap before your soul came here, of things that you wanted to learn, things that you wanted to grow from, things that you wanted to experience. And unfortunately, when we're on earth, sometimes those things can seem really hard, right? If you're like me, you're like, what the F did I sign up for? So I love helping you kind of decode those things and get from where you are in your energetic timeline. I see where you are when I channel for you in the Akashic. And then I see the plan that your soul chose for you. And then Ayurvedic Alchemy, the certification program that I help people monetize their purpose with, it gets you from where you are to where you want to be, right? Tools like acupuncture. If you're working with Catherine or you're thinking about it, that little calling that you have within you is guiding you to her work for a reason, because that's going to help you unlock whatever needs to come into balance for you to have that clarity, that aha moment of, oh my gosh, I am here for more, and I'm worthy of having that, and I'm enough as I am. Right. And then we could get into, there's the healing work. That's where, the acupuncture helps you with all of these things. But what I like to teach is you got to find what feels fun for you, right? If you're feeling a calling to Catherine's work, it's for a reason. It's because that's going to light you up, right? Someone said, was asking me about their purpose recently and said, I'm feeling called to fitness, but I just left a career I really didn't like, and I, started real estate, and I just am nervous that I'm all over the place and I'm not in the right thing. And what I told her was these callings of her heart are actually leading her to the next level of her purpose, that our purpose is always evolving. And the biggest thing that I teach people is that you are the creator of your reality. So if you are listening to a podcast where a psychic medium is on here like me teaching you that you are too, right? When people are put in front of you, you are here to take your power back and know that you create your life. So if I say something, or if Catherine says something, or anybody in the world, or an expert doctor, whoever it is, says something that, ooh, it just feels really yucky to you, that's your intuition telling you it's the wrong way. And the lesson there is for you to lock into your truth of, well, this is true for me, right? And this is actually what feels good. And I'm going to listen to my truth. Meaning, if I tell you, I see in your soul plan, and this wouldn't happen because it's always good stuff. But like, if any psychic, I went to psychic since I was 15. I was obsessed with it. I've been studying metaphysics
Same.
from a very young age, all of my life. So I feel very passionately about teaching this, that if you ever go to a coach or somebody or a psychic that says anything that you don't like, it's because it's up to you to take your power back mentally about that. Okay, so it doesn't become a self-fulfilling prophecy, because what's happening as a psychic, especially, or a coach, might be intuitively tapping into a certain energetic timeline that you're on. But the truth is, from my awakening back in 2013, like from then to now, we can collapse time so fast, and people are awakening. And what took me 10 years to do, right, my clients are doing so fast, right? I want to see you do it fast. It doesn't have to take long. You can do this work and change your whole life really rapidly, but with grace and ease. So if you're listening to this and there's limiting beliefs popping up of, well, maybe this is true for other people, but not for me, cancel, clear, delete that BS lie, because that is just fear and ego trying to keep you from those callings of your heart. So I told this woman that came to me for a purpose, I said, you got to follow that calling for fitness, right? Because that could lead you to maybe a certain kind of workshop that you're going to do for real estate, right? Everything that crosses your path is for a reason. Okay.
Right. I started in fitness before I became an acupuncturist. I don't think many people know that, but I was working in marketing and I knew that wasn't my path or my career. I just knew I wanted to do something in wellness. I liked working with the physical body. I liked movement. So I was like, and I was really disturbed by what I was seeing in the fitness industry and how I felt like I could do better. So I became a group instructor and I became a personal trainer. And I did that like in the morning and night while I was still working a full-time job, not because I needed the money, but because I really enjoyed it. And I was looking for my purpose. And I knew that I wasn't going to find my purpose just by sitting at my desk and my computer all day, that I needed to go out there and try things. And I tried that and I realized it wasn't my passion. It didn't I loved it. I enjoyed it. And it was there for its purpose and its time. It wasn't my ultimate purpose, but it did open me up and get me to find my actual purpose.
Yes, that is so powerful. That is so powerful what you just shared. And I think what my guides are showing me is important to notice in Catherine's story right there that she just shared with us, is that she had a feeling within her and then she took action on it. Then she had another feeling arise within her, and then she took action on it. Then she had another feeling within her, and then she took action on it. She took action. That is a very important part. Okay. And sometimes fear and ego can make us feel like you're meeting resistance to that action. And that's where the tools, I like to call them alchemy tools, like acupuncture or whatever you feel guided to, emotional freedom tapping, the different tools that make up Ayurvedic alchemy. These things help us alchemize fast. And something that I'm being called to just speak on right now before we do the meditation is to remind everybody, and I'm sure, Catherine, you've experienced this with your clients, is that when we feel our real emotions instead of faking them, that frequency actually vibrates 4,000 times more powerfully than the frequency of love. Right? So when we're looking at our emotions and we're looking at manifestation, like manifesting from our soul assignments, manifesting our best life paths from the things we've gone through, it can seem like you don't want to stay in lower frequencies, right? Like that anger. But actually, anger is a good thing because anger vibrates higher than being numb. So if you were, spiritually bypassing something, or you didn't want to feel a trauma from a long time ago and you were stuffing that down and you were numb to it for a while, and then all of a sudden something triggers you, a soul assignment, and you're angry, right? That anger is a gift because it is trying to show you how you actually want to feel. And it's vibrating at a higher frequency than not feeling it at all. Now, when you're in the love frequency, and this, Abraham Hicks teaches this, asking it is given, when you're vibrating Stephen Hawkins actually shows like the exact frequencies on his emotional scale. But this was a new study that was done recently where they went into the, not just love, but like passion and just really the fine tune different emotions that were similar but different. And they really measured the frequencies of this. And what they found was what we refer to as lower emotions like shame and guilt and frequencies like that, envy, jealousy, because it's just lack, right?
You consider anger and sadness part of that too, or grief?
Yeah. So if you look at, I used to have it on my website, but you could just Google emotional frequency scale, right? And either Stephen Hawkins is a great one, it might come up, but I really trust the Abraham Hicks emotional guidance scale. I think Gabby Bernstein includes it in her books
she has
too.
it in her books,
Yeah. So this is really powerful. So yeah, sadness and all of those things are technically considered lower frequency emotions. But here's the really cool thing. When we are brave enough to authentically feel grief, and grief's a different beast, to authentically feel the anger, to authentically feel the sadness, to cry, to just freaking go there for a minute, right? And it's proven that we only need 90 seconds to feel it. But for some of those deeper emotions like grief and stuff, I've always rolled my eyes at that because if you've gone through hard things, it's going to take a little bit longer sometimes, right? Now, you being authentic about that, you not judging yourself. Yeah, I'm not ready to choose happiness. Actually, I'm in a shitty mood right now, right? Like that authenticity actually vibrates not 5 times more powerfully, not 10 times more powerfully, not 100 times more powerfully than love. Love is the miracle frequency. So when we're in the frequency of love, you're automatically manifesting whatever you want. You're manifesting miracles. You're a match for what you want. You're putting out love. Like that is the vibe. That's one of the highest frequencies, one of them, love and light, right? Now, think about this. When you are brave enough to feel your shitty feelings, you're vibrating 4,000 times more powerfully than that miracle frequency of love. Just think about that.
Are you saying that in a positive way or a negative? Okay, that's what I thought. Just want to check it.
And that's good clarification in a really positive way. Because if anybody on here is like me, maybe you're Italian or you were taught in your, ancestral trauma to be strong and hide your emotions and you don't feel your feelings, right? Like when my dad died, it was like, okay, well, back to school, like back in it, like just go. And as a defense mechanism, right? Like I stuffed a lot of that grief down, which stays in the lungs. And something that Catherine brought to my attention that was really powerful is that if you aren't in your purpose, oftentimes that could cause physical ailments, right?
Right.
So continue.
Yeah, when you're not following the energy of what your body is meant to do, right? It's going to throw off your energy and it's going to throw it off. Usually it starts at a surface layer, but then it's a constitutional layer because it's what your purpose is meant, which our purpose is stored in our kidneys. It's actually our blueprint is stored in the energy within our bodies. And when we're not shining and radiating that energy throughout our heart, it throws everything out of balance.
Oh, wow. Since we didn't tune in, I tuned in for us before, but let's just take a deep inhale into that. Just breathe in and just exhale out anything that brought up for you. Just sigh it out. Just let it go. Just notice how you're feeling right now. And just now take a deep inhale into anything heavy. Hold that breath at the top. And then I want you to give an audible sigh out. Just sigh it out. Maybe give a little shake. One more deep inhale. And then sigh that out. Because what that means, right, is Ayurveda teaches us that our natural state is perfect health. So how awesome, right? That then when you are taking action in the direction of your heart's desires, you can return to perfect health. Like how beautiful is that?
I don't want to make it sound that easy though, because if you're like me, a lot of times finding your purpose can bring up those shadow work, right? That darkness, that demons, because usually when you're guided to your purpose, you're going to find you're going to find challenges. The universe is going to give you challenges to make you overcome them. Those challenges can bring out a lot of hidden stuff, which again will throw your body off and cause illness, disease, and symptoms. So there's a lot of work involved.
A lot. And that's why, but you can do it, right? And that's
Right.
why I created Ayurvedic alchemy to make it fun, right? That's why I'm saying if you feel called to acupuncture, go do that, because that's your path to fun, to clearing this as fast as it's in your timeline for your highest and greatest good
Right.
of all, right? We're all always right on time, but that's so important what Catherine's sharing. And that's why after we kind of spoke about it, I'm like, let's take some cleansing breaths, because even just that conversation could be super, I don't want to use the word triggering, but it could bring stuff up for people. It could, never going to find my purpose. I'm too, oh my God, am I going to get helping now? I'm not living in my part. Like, no, cancel, clear, delete all of those thoughts.
Yeah.
Cancel, clear, delete. Those are the BS lies. And you would take that thought like, oh my gosh, am I going to get sick, or whatever the limiting belief is about health, and you would create a new possibility. So what I call next level happy method, you don't call it whatever you want, right? It's just a title I put on it, but you're just going to ask yourself, you're going to create a new possibility in the infinite possibilities of the universe. And you're going to ask yourself, what will this feel like? And what will this look like when it works out even better than expected? That's your new story script.
So if people are sitting at home and they're like, okay, I get it. I believe that I have a purpose. Everyone has a purpose. And maybe they even have that itch and inkling that they have a purpose, but they know they're definitely not following their life purpose, but they have no fucking idea what their actual purpose is. How can they start to find it?
Yes. If you have no idea what your purpose is, the first thing that you're going to do is right now today, like when we open, is you're going to call in that clarity. I want you to, if you have a piece of paper in front of you, or if you don't, right? I want you to just energetically while you're listening to this podcast right now, claim it. I want you to declare, I want you to bring intention into it. I want you to be open to communicating with your higher self and your team of angels that made this soul plan for you, and just being open to that idea. You could simply say, hey, I really want to access deeper meaning behind my purpose. I really want to discover what this is. And the meditation that I'm going to take you through right now, it's going to ask you 2 questions that will help you get clear on that. But in case spirit tends to pull me in different directions, in case we do angel cards, I'm going to give you a couple hacks right now. So here's 2 clues. Some clues. Well, here's one clue that could help you find your purpose. What did you like to do when you were little? Mm-hmm. 2, what would you do? What would you still be doing if you weren't paid for it? Okay. Because usually it's what keeps people from their purpose, or at least my guides are showing me this is what I'm supposed to speak to right now on this podcast, is don't think about the money part of it, because money energy is a whole other thing. Yeah. Lack doesn't exist. When you're in your dharma, there's a law of dharma that says you will be successful in your dharma, right? As long as you're leading from that good intention, being of service, right? Money will always flow to you. Money is part of the fun that you're having, right? So I teach people in their purpose, mastering that divine feminine energy and taking action, mastering energetics of money from there. But take that out of the equation and really I would encourage you, just start listening to the callings of your heart. What lights you up? If you give yourself permission just for the rest of this week, and I'm going to be realistic, I'm not going to tell you create a meditation practice. Will that help? Fuck yeah. But are most of you going to do it? I didn't want to do it when Deepak told me to do it. So let's be realistic. And I think a realistic exercise for everyone that will help you tap more into your purpose this week today is, as you go through life, as you are experiencing the mundane, like carrying groceries in or whatever it is, I want you to just notice how you feel in those moments. And I want you to pay attention more to the things that light you up. I want you to give yourself permission just for today or just for this week to focus on things that light you up, that bring you into your joy. Maybe that's looking at the water. Maybe that's going for a walk, or if the cold really pisses you off and it's cold where you are, maybe that's not the vibe. Maybe you got to do an infrared sauna or a hot cup of tea. It doesn't have to be extravagant. It could be a beautiful cup of tea and just letting yourself power off from work for a minute. Take a minute, go in the closet if you have a lot of kids, like, I was going to take a breath.
Hide in the bathroom.
Yeah. So it's like noticing the things that tap you into your joys. And if it's that moment where you're with your tea, and you're taking the breath, you might be called to do more breath work, right? Like that might be where you're being guided, right? To just notice. Or if you know, no, I hate breath work, I'm not going to do that. Let me book this session with Catherine. I love having, just getting the energy worked for me. That's the clue, right? So as you give yourself permission to feel the sunshine on your skin, connect with the elements of nature Ayurveda teaches us we're one with, lean into joy. Now, it sounds easy, you guys, but society trains us not to do that. Masculine energy of the world says, go, 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 do, don't slow down. Slowing down is bad, but when you slow down and you plug into joy and you take a breath, what happens is it connects you with your higher self that remembers choosing to come to earth, that remembers choosing your soul plan. Because what I've come to believe and teach, and anybody that's familiar with Dolores Cannon's work, right? I wasn't guided to her. It would have killed my whole spiritual journey because all the answers would have been given to me. I'm like, why wasn't I just guided to her right away? Anyway, we choose to come to Earth School. Earth is the Harvard of, more than that. Like it is one of the hardest schools for souls to evolve their consciousness and grow. And that's why we choose to come here. We come here to master energy and to learn that we can create whatever the fuck we want for our lives from the hard things. But the work here, you guys, is showing up for the BS thoughts. It's showing up for all of the old beliefs, the old thoughts that want us to stay small, that want us to contract, that want us to, the world sucks, everything sucks, blah, 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 right? And when we're brave enough to, when somebody asks us, the biggest thing. So, right. Well, before we did this meditation podcast, Catherine was like, how are you doing? Right. If you're the first step, be radically honest, right? Like I told her, I haven't slept, I didn't sleep, Luca, all of these things. When you're radically honest about those things, you're vibrating higher. Now, here's another hack. If I'm going to ask you right now, how are you? If you were to give me an actual honest answer, not just good, everything's good. Is it good? Are you locked into that every area of your life is good right now? Because if you get radically honest about answering that question, that will help you shift every area of your life and tap more into your purpose, because you'll see, here I don't feel good. But then if the extra work is okay, we'll go in. Why? What is this teaching you? Is there a soul assignment there? Are you pissed at any person, place, or thing? That is trying to get you clear on what you want. And I'm being guided to speak on this, that one of the biggest shifts that I had, because old Victoria's story was, if there is a God, it forgot about me. Happiness is only possible for other people. Good things don't happen for me. Like, I suck. Like, this was the inner story script that was constantly playing. And the game changer, and I encourage you to also play around with this energy, because this will also bring you into your purpose, closer to your purpose. The universe is putting things on social media, in your feeds, in real life in front of you that piss you off. For example, if you're working with Catherine right now and you're trying to have a baby and the universe keeps putting babies in front of you and you are like, what the F? Why do they get to have it? I just want this so bad.
Yeah, I just talked about this with a patient yesterday.
Okay, good. Right? Like, I lived most of my life that way. Like, why do they get to have it? Never me. The universe is showing us what's possible. And when you can start to look at that like, oh, thank you, I will have that. Thank you, this is possible for me. Thank you, this gets to happen for me too. Thank you for showing me what's possible. Your entire life will change.
Right. I just want to point something out in case people missed it, but finding your purpose does not always just appear. It can be like a scavenger hunt where you follow little clues about what feels good. So drinking that tea, taking a breath feels good. Maybe you explore breath work. Maybe you hate breath work. Maybe that's not for you and that's okay, but that will take you to somewhere else to find something else that will eventually get you to the end, get you to the goal, get you to your purpose.
Yes, because as we slow down, we access the truth of our soul, right? So when our soul signs up to come here, we forget everything, but what we remember is the feeling. So if I were to give everybody right now a crash course on intuition, on trusting your intuition, because this is the way you're going to find your purpose is by trusting your intuition. And if you can learn how to really trust your intuition, finding those clues going to be so much more easy. It's going to be so much easier for you. And that's how we collapse time, because there is no gap. Right now, if there's a thing, let's use the baby one still. If you're like, never going to manifest this baby, you're here and the idea of it is over here. Now, babies are so much bigger because they're such divine soul plan things. So you can do your work of holding the frequency to be the match. But oftentimes one of the biggest thing that you can do when you are manifesting, bringing in your spirit baby, earth side, is trusting in the inevitability of your soul's plan, trusting in the timing that it's bigger than us. And what your real inner work probably is, and I'm sure you're doing it with Catherine, is cleaning up any life experiences, the soul assignments that happened that made you not trust your higher power, clearing up any limiting beliefs that any experts put in your head about it, and moving into a new mindset that, of course, this gets to happen, that this is inevitable for you, and really moving into that frequency, then evoking a new emotion about it, feeling it. There is no separation. It's here. Then you get your period, it doesn't happen again. You still know, okay, I trust the bigger plan because this baby soul has a big timeline. And who am I to say when it's supposed to come, right? So I let go of the way I think it should be, and I allow in the even bigger plan.
Right.
Because that baby has a soul purpose too. And we choose exactly when we want to come here. It is precise. The universe is in precise order. As Dr. Deepak Chopra says, it's not random alphabet soup with random alphabets everywhere. It is in order with numbers. It is precise.
Yep.
Right?
My daughter who's 4 and my son's older, right? So she used to tell me that she saw mommy and daddy and Ethan walking, and then she didn't have a family and she knew she wanted to come to us.
Oh my gosh, that stuff lights me up.
Right. And now she's older and she goes, why did you have me second? Why did you choose to have me second? I go, Zoe, I didn't choose this. Like, you chose this. This is not on me.
Oh my gosh, that lights me up, because it also shows the frequency that the earth is moving into, because these kids coming here are so awake. They're so open. And in old timelines on earth, kids' remembrances of these things would close, but Spirit's showing me they're actually going to stay open, because we're here to raise the frequency of the planet. More than ever. And I love stories like that where kids remember. Like, one of my friends, my close friend since high school, I've known her since I was like 14, 15 years old. One of her girls, before, I think it was when I was pregnant with Luca, her youngest, Gia, goes, "Oh, I'm going to meet Thomas is Luca's middle name." And I was considering using it for his first name, but she pretty much said, "Oh, I know him." Like, basically saying I met him before I came here. And what that meant to me was they were part of the soul cluster choosing to come to Earth at the same time. And they remember interacting in the ethers. Like, it can get pretty trippy, but it's so cool.
That's awesome. I love that.
It's so cool. So, and I'm glad Catherine gave that recap, because I'm hoping the message everyone gets from this is that your purpose isn't so cut and dry, right? And when I channel, so in one-on-one sessions, right? And you could look up your soul path right now, right? I channel in your soul destiny. So your soul path is the path that your soul is currently walking. And then your soul's destiny is one of the highest possible timelines that your soul was like, I would really love to fulfill this, right? But it's up to your free will, how you integrate these soul lessons, these soul assignments, balancing the duality on earth, if you are going to take the action to do the thing. So a big reason why I wanted to debunk all of this stuff was when, I was doing energy work, channeling Akashic records for people, doing the psychic medium work. It felt like a lot of pressure, because I was like, I see that your highest timeline is to, you're going to take these lessons, you could write this book, or you could do this thing, and you're going to meet that guy, like, you guys signed up for it, you're going to be a mom, all these things. I could see it. But if they don't take the free will action, right? That's not on me that the
Right.
timeline didn't manifest. That's on you.
Right. You can't sit still. You need to move forward.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's, I could see the highest timeline. And then that's where Ayurvedic alchemy comes into place, or all the alchemy tools of how can you just move your mindset, right? So when we create new story scripts, new beliefs, it creates new neural pathways, and the brain only knows how to look for more and more of what is familiar. So if you're playing an old story script like mine, nothing ever works out for me, and the universe forgot about me, everything fucking sucks, you're gonna attract that, and then your brain is programmed to just look for more and more and more of it. Whereas if you can look for the soul assignment in what created that limiting belief that everything sucks, right? Was it a relationship that rejected you? Is it a worthiness thing? Was it something that happened? Did your parents not show up for you, right? It's often rooted in childhood and all of these things. So when we can heal those things, the answers for our purpose are usually in those soul assignments.
Right.
Okay. And then that will guide you more and more towards your purpose, right? So the biggest takeaway should be, if you follow those clues, right, that the universe is giving you, and you give yourself permission, your purpose lights you up. Your purpose is the calling in your heart that doesn't make any logical sense, but like you know, right? So for me, it was when I was working in fundraising for corporate America, right? It was a great position. I loved working for Children's Miracle Network hospitals, but I didn't like the wrath of corporate America. And I just knew, if I couldn't speak openly about energy healing in this huge health facility that I was working for and doing events for, right, I knew I could make a bigger impact on the world teaching this work, but nothing like this really existed 13 years ago, right? So you don't want to box yourself, because you might have a purpose that maybe isn't invented yet, or you're a way shower, or you're trailblazing, or you could do it your way, right? So you just have to be open. You just have to be open to those possibilities. Now, here's the point I wanted to make. It's like Catherine said, it might not be easy. It's going to feel really scary, but that's why I pointed out Catherine still kept taking the action, right? So for me, it felt really batshit crazy to walk away from a completely secure job and fully pursue my purpose, because at the time, to get certified in Ayurveda at Chopra, and first of all, I couldn't pronounce Ayurveda, Ayurveda. Ayurveda literally translates, for anybody that doesn't know, to the science of life. It's a consciousness-based system of healing that teaches us our natural state is perfect health. Our natural state is to receive everything we want, that happiness and miracles is our birthright. Just to sum it up briefly, it's so much more than that. But I didn't know what it was, but I felt the calling, the first calling, go, pursue this. My first calling was to Maui, right? So, and I took a leap. I went there, but it wasn't easy. It feels like, what if everything falls apart? So you have to mentally really lock into, I know my higher power has my back, and I'm willing to just enjoy the journey of this chapter of where I am, and continuing to follow all of those little clues, right? So my first clue was, I had prerequisites for a certification I need. And I'm like, when does it make sense to quit my job and go to Maui? I'm going to do it. That was my first leap, right? The second leap was choosing, I thought, like Catherine said, right, following that fitness path, I thought I was going to be a yoga teacher, right? I thought I was going to be a yoga teacher. And all of a sudden, I felt the calling when I went to Journey into Healing, the prerequisites at Chopra that at the time we had to do in person. Now they're merged with IIN. If anyone has any questions about that, I love all of those programs. But at the time, you had to do a lot of intensive work. And all of a sudden, I was being called to study perfect health and study Ayurveda. And I cried. I literally cried about it, because it felt so hard. And I didn't understand why my guides were guiding me to do this. And instead of listening to my ego keeping me small, I followed that calling, and it was for so many freaking reasons. It was for so many reasons, because I was supposed to create Ayurvedic alchemy to make the ascension process fun, because I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you guys. It is hard to feel your feelings. It is hard to take the thoughts that you have become so comfortable with over decades and say, hey, I'm going to choose to believe something new, and then actively lock into the new thought and then actively evoke a new emotion from it, right? Because you want the brain to be more familiar with what you do want, to search for more of that. Now, here's the kicker, and this is why you want to do the work with Catherine, what acupuncture and all these alchemy tools help you heal, is you got to clear the resistance in the body, right? If you were like me and you suppressed, right, shit with Xanax, I used to have to take 4 Xanny bars a day. Like the fact, I didn't want to, all about medicine helping people, but I personally didn't want to have to be on medicine for my entire life to be happy. That was like, what? Like, what's the point of life? Like, there has to be a better way. So what I found was, from all of those years that I suppressed feeling my feelings from alcohol and Xanax and all of the things, I had to still feel those feelings. That sucked.
They're not going away.
That sucked.
Yes.
And that's why I was guided to create Ayurvedic alchemy, because all of a sudden I went from, I had a spiritual awakening. I didn't share my full story, but I had a spiritual awakening, to shorten it up, 2013 going into 2014 New Year's Eve, where my obsession to drink was completely removed. And all of a sudden, I remembered very clearly making my soul plan. Every loved one that had ever crossed over very clearly came to me. I felt a peace I had never felt, that I had always craved my entire life. But I should have been hungover. I should have been embarrassed. I should have been paralyzed in shame. And instead of acting in old habit, I followed the calling in my heart. Something said, reach out to this person who was on my social media I had known her. She likes to stay anonymous, but I knew she had gotten sober and stopped consuming alcohol to numb her feelings. And I thought, well, if that's possible for her, maybe I can have that too. And I took action to do the inner work. I didn't just get the miracle, what they call a white light experience, of my obsession to drink being removed, right? I decided in that moment to do the inner work, right? And here's how I knew I got a miracle. I didn't know by saying, I'm willing to allow the miracle, right? So the good news is that if you need a miracle right now, I didn't even have these tools then, and I still received it. And if I can receive a freaking miracle of my obsession to drink being removed, you can receive physical miracles, money miracles, love miracles. Like, I promise you guys, I used to think this shit was not possible, and it is. And if you are willing to do whatever it takes, you will get to the other side of your mountain.
Right.
Like, you will.
I think that's important what you said, though, about removing resistance, because for me, taking action is easy. It's always been easy, right? Like, I'm an Aries. I just jump right in. I'm happy to do anything. But I got to a place where I was just taking action and nothing was happening. And that's because there was resistance. You can take as much action as you want, but if there's still a block and resistance behind it, and it's not coming from that right vibration, that right energy, it's only going to get you so far.
Yes, 100%. Because what happens when we do that is we're spinning our wheels in the mud. And that's the masculine energy that the world teaches us of go, 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 do, do, do. And don't get me wrong, we want a healthy amount of that energy, of that fire, that Aries, that fire, right? That Catherine mentioned. You want a healthy balance of that Pitta energy, right? As Ayurveda would call the fire energy. We want the healthy balance of it, but what we really want to do, and what I help people in their purpose, really monetizing their purpose, because that's usually when the lesson comes in of balancing for people, is when they're trying to monetize their purpose to the next level. Is that usually, because it was for me, where I got stuck in all the masculine, well, I got to figure this out, and let me do all the marketing tools, and let me figure this out, and let's do all the strategy, because logically that makes sense, right? And so that's why I teach it. Those tools are important, but what I teach people is to master their energy and let your divine feminine energy lead. Because if you can master understanding your divine feminine energy, right? I said I was give you a quick crash course on intuition. Intuition feels good and yummy. That's your divine feminine energy. Intuition feels good and yummy. And that's why I said follow your joy. Because if you follow that joy, you slow down, that's going to bring you into that divine goddess, divine feminine flow where everything just comes to you because you're not trying. You just know that you have everything you need right now, that you lack nothing. You're trusting the universe's bigger plans for you. You know you're a co-creator, but you're surrendering, you're trusting to that bigger plan, and you're just moving and grooving and you're spreading that light. And when you don't feel it, you're being authentic about it. You're taking care of yourself, right? Like that is the vibe of divine feminine energy, because from this place, what happens is you will be guided to every next best action step more clearly. And you'll be aligned with the path of least resistance, which helps us take precise action to make the best use of our energy instead of spinning our wheels constantly in the mud, trying to force the thing, right? So that's often when we take the pressure off and we detach and we just focus on that joy, right? You will be guided to the path of least resistance for whatever that experience is. Does that resonate?
It does. It's essentially like what people say, to work smarter, not harder.
Yes.
But it's also to receive and not push, right?
Yes, to receive, to not push, but, and, you know, don't get me wrong, like sometimes some action is better than no action. Like if you're in freeze mode and you're not taking any action, just go take any action, right? But if you're, and only you know yourself, that's why it's so important to know how to listen to your intuition. If you have been, right, like Catherine said, taking the action, doing this, doing that, blah, 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 and it's not working, shut it all down. Shut it all down, let go of what's not working, and just give yourself permission to focus on your joy, because that you'll feel the difference between the inspired action step and forcing. Because when we force, when we meet resistance, it feels like we're moving through quicksand. It feels like we're moving through mud and things are taking a long time, right? And there's a better way to allow in more strategic action, because when you're in divine feminine energy, like just say like you're trying to like get a book launched or whatever it is, and you're trying to do the marketing plan, you're trying to do the thing, blah, blah, blah. But if you just focus on your divine feminine energy, I have no doubt you'll probably have somebody call you, or you'll get the email, or something will drop right into your lap, and you'll go to get your cup of coffee and you're feeling abundant, or you're being authentic and you're not having a good day, because no matter how you feel, you're always manifesting your best life path. And that the agent that you need or whatever is right there next to you, helping you, right? Like that is how it works. That's what I mean when I say that, like precise action instead of trying to force and make it happen.
Right. So do you want to dive into the meditation now?
Yes, let's dive into the meditation. And in this, I just feel called to tell everybody, just pay attention to how you feel. And if there's any parts of this that feel good and yummy for you, and take the pressure off, right? Dr. Joe Dispenza teaches this a lot at his meditations. People will try. Don't try to find your purpose in this meditation. Don't try to do anything. Just be the gentle observer of how you're feeling. Notice your thoughts, right? And that's it. That's all I want you to do is pay attention to your breath. Don't try to force anything to happen, because that will take you back into the masculine energy, right? Where if you don't try to force it to happen, that's how the big awakenings will really happen. And I feel guided to share really quick that if you're feeling really hopeless about a physical ailment or something, I promise you, I used to not believe in physical healing. My dad used to be a quadriplegic, and I promise you, all physical healing is possible. I healed my lower back going out. I've healed my knee. Clients that I've worked with have helped people walk out of wheelchairs. Like, I mean, you guys, like, physical healing is so possible.
Yeah, there's no such thing as irreversible ailments.
Boom. I love that. I love that. So let's tap into new possibilities. Everybody, wherever you're at, if it's available for you to close your eyes, I encourage you to go ahead and do that. If it's not available, just set intention for yourself to receive any information for the highest and greatest good of all. And you can simply say, I am willing to connect with my higher self. I am willing to connect with information about my soul's purpose or any and all guidance for my highest and greatest good of all. Or if there's a miracle that you want to call in right now, that you want to be brave enough to declare, I want you to go ahead and I want you to bring that in. I want you to bring it in. Okay. Rubbing your palms together with me, rubbing your palms vigorously together, starting to feel that heat between your palms, tapping into your inner healer, tapping into your intuitive alchemist, the version of you that remembers choosing to come to earth, the version of you that remembers making your soul's plan, the version of you that knows you have access to this inner healing within you. And then just open the palms and feel that warmth a little bit. Then go ahead and give a shake out through your aura with your hands. Just vigorously shake anything out of your energetic body, everything that came before this moment, everything that you have to do after this. Just shake it all out and give yourself permission to be here now. Bringing the hands together again over heart center. You can join me if you know the Adi mantra to tune into your higher self. Otherwise, you could just receive it, feeling the vibrations, or try to chant it with me. There's no way to get it wrong because, again, it's just your willingness to connect. And then we're going to do the prayer for peace and protection after, okay? So tuning in, take a deep inhale, rolling the eyes in and up. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Rolling the eyes in and up, take a deep inhale into your heart, breathe in. Remembering that you are love, exhale out audibly, side out, let it all go. Placing one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being next level happy, trusting in your soul's purpose, trusting in the unknown, feeling so good, knowing happiness is your birthright, that's a 10. It's all working out for you. You know it, you feel it, you're moving as it. 0 being the complete opposite. Maybe you're in the negatives. Maybe you're like, I'm a -1,000 today, and that's okay. We're not going to judge it. We're not going to judge it. And I want you to just notice where you're at. Beautiful. And when you have that number, now I want you to be brave enough and declare, how do you want to feel? Just asking yourself, how would you love to feel knowing miracles are real? How would you like to feel after this little alchemy exercise? How do you want to feel when you rest your head on the pillow to go to sleep tonight? How do you want to feel when you wake up tomorrow? And being really brave to claim that. And I say brave because often we won't claim what we want out of fear that we won't receive it. Releasing any and all of those fears no longer serving us. Breathe in. Hold the breath at the top. I am willing to let this go. Exhale out. And then coming back to that number. How do you want to feel? And just opening to a new possibility. I am open to a new possibility that happiness and miracles really are my birthright. And I am open to the possibility that my soul does have a unique purpose. Maybe your purpose is evolving to its next level. I am safe to let go of what is no longer serving me. And I am safe to follow the callings in my heart above all logic, because that will take you to every clue. Take a deep inhale in. Hand over any heaviness, exhale out. And just notice if you're already feeling a little lighter. And as we roll the eyes in and up, I want you to visualize, if this feels good for you, a pillar of white light or two beautiful golden angel wings to the left of you, to the right of you, behind you, coming up and over you, creating a beautiful bubble of loving energy, of protection, that you and your whole family are so protected. Take a deep inhale into your heart. Exhale out anything in disharmony with these truths. And just receiving these mantras or joining me if it's familiar. Ad Gure Name, Jagat Gure Name, Sat Gure Name, Siddhi Gurudev Name. Ad Gure Name, Jagat Gure Name, Sat Gure Name, Siddhi Gurudev Name. Ad Gure Name, Jagat Gure Name, Sat Gure Name, Siddhi Gurudev Name. And I want you to notice if you have multiple thoughts popping up right now. And in your mind's eye, seeing two beautiful golden angel wings. And you can do this exercise on your own whenever you need. One hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. I want you to notice if there's any tension, any heaviness, any anxiousness, stress, worry. If any area of your body is tight, your upper shoulders, holding on to burdens and expectations, or your jaw. Maybe it's all over. Maybe you can't identify it. That's okay. I am willing to be willing to let go of any and all things no longer serving my highest timeline. Feeling into the heaviest part. I want you in your mind's eye to give it a shape and a color. Is it a squiggly yellow line? Is it a black star? Is it an object you've never seen before? Is it a blob? Is it brown circles all over? Is it a pink heart? Give it a shape and a color. When you have it, I want you to take a deep inhale into it. Breathe in. Take a deep inhale. Hold that breath at the top. Take another sip of air. Breathe in. I'm willing to let this go. Hand that over. Exhale that out. Let it go. One more deep inhale into that object. Hold it. I'm willing to let this go. I want you to hand it over to your teams of angels. Hand it over to me. It's too heavy to hold. Exhale that out. You're giving it over to be resorted to your highest timeline. Take another deep inhale. Exhale it out. Now, any busy thoughts, I want you to see those busy thoughts over your head, the to-do list, all of the things. Hand it all over to your highest timeline. Breathe in. Exhale out. If life seems hard, it just means we're relying on our own strength. And we can always allow in help from your higher power, from source energy. We can allow in more energy through our breath. And let's move into a little bit of alchemy, cooling breath. I want you to, in your mind's eye, we're going to make a little space here, and then I'm going to take you through the soul purpose questions. I want you to bring up any people, places, or things in your mind's eye that have caused you harm. So rolling the eyes in and up, anything that's agitating you, I am willing to be willing to allow in forgiveness. I'm willing to see love. I am willing to allow in the lesson. Take a deep inhale, handing that over to your teams of angels. Exhale that out. Letting it all go. One more deep inhale. And exhale that out. And just ask, what is the lesson here? What is this trying to teach me? What is this trying to help me get clear on that I really want? We're going to breathe in through the nose now for a count of 4. Hold for 2, and then you're exhaling out through an O-shaped mouth for a count of 8. So inhale through the nose for 4. Hold for 2, exhale out through an O-shaped mouth for 8. So it's going to look and sound like this. And you could place one hand on your heart, one hand in your belly. Beautiful. And now as you continue this breath, I want you to bring up any worry, any frustration to be alchemized. As you breathe in, breathing in that prana life force energy that you need for the rest of the day. Maybe you didn't sleep like me. Breathing it all in. Exhale through an O-shaped mouth. Feeling that fire being balanced. Breathing in. Exhale out as that fiery energy balances. You access your divine feminine energy, feeling everything that you desire coming towards you. You lack nothing. Everything is always working out for you. Your soul is right on time. You are doing a great job. You are here. You're showing up. You're doing the work. The entire universe is rigged in your favor. Teams of angels are here to help you. Repeating silently or out loud, I welcome help from my teams of angels. I welcome miracles. I welcome guidance from my higher self for my highest and greatest good of all. Take a deep inhale. Hand that over to me. Exhale that out. Let that go. Beautiful. And we're going to call in Archangel Michael to just cut any cords of fear-based attachment. Seeing a sword of light coming in, I'm willing to let this go. Breathe in. Exhale that out. And if you want to allow in Archangel Raphael or any of the archangels for physical healing, I want you to allow them in. Archangel Raphael is here loud and clear, and he is saying, be open to the miracle. Be open to the miracle. We can move all things for you. And just breathing that in, it gets to be easy. Exhale out. As I follow my joy, the path becomes more clear and fun. I'm safe to slow down and follow my fun. Take another deep inhale. Exhale out. We're going to just move into those soul questions before we conclude. Rolling the eyes in and up. I want you to see a beautiful staircase in front of you. And every step that you take up that staircase, you feel lighter and lighter and lighter. And as you get to the top, you feel your guardian angel next to you. Maybe you feel a loved one who's crossed over guiding you. That's really them. Take a deep inhale. Leaping through as you exhale out. You're in a beautiful lavender field. As you roll the eyes in and up, I am safe to see truth. I am safe to stay connected to my intuition. My intuition feels good and yummy, and I give myself permission to follow this truth above any old patterns, and I ask for any old patterns keeping me from following my intuition and my life's purpose to be alchemized for my highest and greatest good of all. Deep inhale. Hand that over. Exhale that out. Beautiful. And in that lavender field, you see a beautiful waterfall that pulls you in. You're immediately under it, feeling this surge of white light washing over your crown. Breathe it in. Hold that breath as it washes over your upper shoulders. Exhale out. Your upper torso relaxes. Your lower torso relaxes. Breathing into the throat. Seeing a bright blue light here, exhale out. I am safe to speak my truth. Beautiful. I speak from divine. Beautiful. One more deep inhale into the throat. Exhale out. I am safe to create ripple effects of love on this earth. I am safe to follow my joy. I am safe to feel good. Breathe in right below the navel to your sacral. See a bright orange light here. I'm safe to feel this. I'm safe to feel. I want you to go there. Feel whatever feelings are coming out. If you have a pen and paper, write it out. Oh, it feels gross. Feels like it's never going to happen. I'm safe to feel this. This is authenticity. Feel it. Take a deep inhale. I'm willing to let this go now. Exhale that out. Ah, beautiful. Let that go. And I am safe to feel good. I want you to declare it. I am ready to feel good. I am worthy. Happiness is my birthright. Breathing in, seeing that waterfall of light surge through your crown, through your upper torso, through your belly button, into that sacral, seeing this beautiful orange light coming into perfect balance and harmony for your whole system. Breathe in. Oh, I'm so safe to feel good. Exhale that out. Beautiful. Breathing into the base of the spine, seeing a bright red light, just opening. I am safe. And if anybody is affected by any worldly events right now in our timeline, the LA fires happen. And if you aren't feeling safe, a powerful exercise is you can take one of your palms and place them behind your head. Take your other palm, place it on your forehead. So the palms are facing each side of your head, and you're just going to breathe here. And you're going to say out loud if you can. If not, if you're at work, you can use this whenever you need. Go to a bathroom stall and you can affirm silently, I am safe. I am safe. And I want you to see a bright red rose at the base of your spine opening. I am safe. I am safe. I am safe. All is truly well. From this situation, only good will come. Breathe in. Exhale out. Shake your palms out. And now coming back to that waterfall, rolling the eyes in and up, stepping through. There's a beautiful mirror in front of you, and your higher self starts to emerge. I want you to just see yourself. And we're going to move into the soul questions and just asking yourself, I want you to notice what your future self looks like in that mirror. The version of you who's on the other side of your mountain. The miracle is here. What do you look like? What do you feel like? What do you smell like? What does life taste like? And just opening to these new possibilities and asking your team of angels in your Akashic records, in your soul's unique plan. I want you to ask yourself this question. Who am I? Looking into that mirror. Who am I? Maybe your name popped up. Maybe a role popped up like mom or friend or daughter or mother, father, Catherine. And starting to just notice all these stories that the world has told us about ourselves from the moment we were born. And I want you to start to hand over all of these roles that you're playing, your job title, hand them all over. Take a deep inhale. Release them all. Exhale that out. Beautiful. One more deep inhale. Exhale that out. Beautiful. Asking yourself again, this time, remembering that you are light, that you are love, that you are pure potential energy, that you are one with source. Who am I? Who am I? And now releasing without judgment whatever came to you or didn't, continuing to roll the eyes in and up as we do one more soul question. Breathe in. Hand that over. Exhale out. Now asking yourself the next question. What do I want? What do I really, truly, in my heart of hearts, what do I require for my life? Knowing that time and money aren't an issue, that you came here for more, that the universe is always giving you more. What do you really want to do with the rest of this precious lifetime that your soul came here and chose this beautiful body for? What would that look like for you? What would it feel like? Are you on a beach? Are you with your family? Are you checking your bank account and you have overflow? What does it feel like? And just opening to these new possibilities. And now take a deep inhale into them, opening up to even better possibilities. Exhale that out. It's this or something even better. I'm so excited for your awesome plans, universe. Hand that over. Take a deep inhale, allowing in acceptance. Beautiful. Grant me serenity for the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Breathe in. From this situation, only good will come. Exhale out and asking your soul, how can I step more into my purpose? What is my next best action step? How can I be of service for the highest and greatest good of all? How can I help the most people, be my happiest self, my most affluent self, be in perfect health? I am ready. I am willing. Show me the way. I give myself permission to take all of this pressure off the how, and I am willing to follow my joy. And I'm so excited to see all the ways the universe is going to show up for me. And I want you to pick a sign, keeping the eyes rolled in and up. I want you to pick a sign that you're going to know when this sign comes. You're going to remember, oh my gosh, my teams of angels really are here. Whoa, this is inevitable. And it's going to take you back into this higher frequency of, whoa, I'm safe to trust. What is that sign? Is it a peacock? Is it a penguin? Is it a song? Whatever it is. One of mine's a peacock if you want to borrow that. Or flamingo. Whatever it is. Take a deep inhale. Exhale that out. Maybe it's a sign from a loved one. Beautiful. And when you're ready, just starting to feel the surface that you're sitting on supporting you, just like all of Earth is. Noticing the tastes that are in your mouth, fluttering your eyes open, looking into the lines in the palms of your hands, because this for me is one of the ways to ground, just really like looking at your own body, the details of it, just coming back into this earth, merging these new possibilities that we just created into this physical body. And just finishing up, just tapping on the side of the karate chop point if that feels good. I release any and all blocks holding me back. Release any and all patterns that just aren't serving me anymore. I'm ready. I am worthy. I'm so worthy. I've always been worthy. Oh, and I'm enough as I am. Oh, I'm enough as I am. Tapping across the heart center. And I am willing to forgive myself and anybody else that taught me otherwise. And it makes me want to cry. And if it moves you to tears, let it. Let it. I fully and completely love and accept myself. And just give a little shake. Give a little shake and come back. How are we feeling?
That was wonderful. What a beautiful way to end, Victoria. And for our listeners, if you did that meditation and it resonated with you, you can come back to it anytime.
Anytime you want. I'm just going to pull one card for the group. I'm going to pull one card for the group and we can end with this. Now, did you have a good experience from it?
Yes, that was wonderful.
It helped. I mean, and you guys, the coolest thing about, whoa, this sign's for somebody. The coolest thing about living in your purpose is if you are having a shitty time, right? Like Heaven was like, how's your day going? And I was like, this is not, but I knew as soon as I tune in and I come into my purpose, I'm going to feel so lit. I'm going to have a rockin' rest of my day. I'm going to feel so good because it gives you so much prana life force energy that it doesn't, I keep saying it doesn't make logical sense how I cannot sleep through, right? Luca's going to be 4 months and like I haven't slept since I was pregnant, right? Like it doesn't make logical sense how I can have so much prana life force energy, but it's because I listen to what I need and I show up and I keep doing the inner work. So the card I said wow to for everybody is fertility. Okay. So fertility, if you were praying for the miracle of your baby, take this as the very clear sign that yes, you are so fertile, right? If you're working with Catherine, continuing to do that work, right? It's all mindset. If you're not trying to have a baby, this means fertile ground for seeds to be planted for whatever it is that you want to manifest to grow. So if it's not a baby for you, what is that big thing, right? And then what needs to happen for you to move into it being so far away and separate to just being here right now. The next card is I do not need to monitor my thoughts. So don't freak out. Don't be like, oh my God, every thought's negative. I got to freak out. I got to watch all my thoughts now. Masculine energy. No. You're just going to be the gentle observer of them. And how you're going to know what thoughts to look at is when you don't feel good. I want you to just notice that because when you don't feel good, there's thoughts that are playing that are negative story script. And that's how you can just start to do that work right away. That will lead you into your purpose because you're going to hear your intuition more clearly and you're going to be able to follow your heart more clearly above all logic, which will always lead you to your purpose no matter what. I promise you. Archangel Michael. Wisdom and objectivity are important now. Stay in your integrity, a situation that calls for honest and open communication. The best thing we can ever do is have clear communication with ourselves. So it all comes back to slowing down. So thank you so much for having me.
Yes. And so if people listen to this and they want help finding their purpose or need help along the way, because I think we all need support, how can they find you? How can they work with you? And I'll leave all your information in the show notes as well.
Yeah, of course. So if you want, I feel guided for all of Catherine's people. If you want to do a free 20-minute consult to just get some angel cards, be in this energy a little bit and learn more information about finding your soul's purpose, finding guidance on that path. I work with people in a 3-month mentorship for those programs. But I love helping people find it. So even if you're not sure if you're ready for it, trust because connecting with me might help you take that step to your next level also. So it's nextlevelhappy.com or just message me directly on Instagram, Victoria Manifest with 2 N's because my last name is Mann, MANNIFEST.
Beautiful.
The free link.
Wonderful. And like I mentioned, we'll leave all of Victoria's information in the show notes. And thank you again, Victoria. This was a beautiful conversation, and I always love speaking to you. And thank you for joining me at 9:30 in the morning when you were involved.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for helping me work through my blocks and come closer to my purpose and activate my throat chakra.
Yes, there we go. Thank you.